Welcome to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook. That's Justin Wells. It's time to talk about a little bit of breaking news. Texas has picked up another commitment in its 2025 class. San Francisco St. Ignatius College Prep offensive lineman John Mills has decided to join the Longhorns class of 2025. He chose Texas. He had a top 6 of Cal, Washington, USC, Florida, Texas, and Nebraska. I think he took an official visit to all those except for USC. And after going coast to coast, seeing the SEC, the Big Ten, the Atlantic Coast Conference, while on the Pacific Coast, Justin Mills is now a Longhorn and joins Texas 2025 class.
Yeah, I love this pickup. And I know our guys at Inside Texas, Charlie Williams and Eric Nalin, agree. He's been hitting Texas, I felt like, for a year and a half now, and all on his own dime. And that's a trip. That's a journey coming from San Francisco. But this was an early evaluation for Kyle Flood and their staff. 6'5", a little over 300 pounds. He's got that blonde hair, man. I mean, you remember the movie Remember the Titans? If Sunshine was an offensive lineman, he'd be John Mills. I mean, this guy, he plays with a passion. We talk about an O-lineman disposition, bringing a nastiness to the line. DJ Campbell is renowned for it. John Mills brings you that. That this is one of those guys, and we know that Sark and Flood are always going to go and evaluate the West Coast. And this was an early guy that they identified. And I think it's big for this class, Joe, because I feel like they've got everything lined up now for that one big 5-star offensive tackle that's left on the big board. And I think this is just another one of those great hauls for Kyle Flood, a good eval, beat Florida, beat Washington. Those were the other two schools that were really in the mix, took OVs to those spots. I think if it wasn't going to be Texas, it was going to be Washington. But the Horns, like I said, they were on this early and often. He had been on campus, it felt like half a dozen times. And after his official visit, he decided to make the call.
Looking at his rankings, the On3 industry ranking has him as the number 416 overall prospect, number 32 interior O-lineman, number 35 player in California. On3 is a little bit higher, still a 3-star across the board. Number 26 interior offensive lineman, number 33 player in California. And Justin, I'm going to go back to the start of his film because he talked about that disposition. Let's see if I can get it lined up. Watch on the screen. You're going to see number 75, and you're going to see him for a while. Halfback toss, boom, block. There he is. He's running. He's cheering. Boom.
That's an O-lineman's dream, Joe.
It's hands up in celebration. Yeah. He's basically celebrating the touchdown like it's one of his own. That's Absolutely. What our Charlie Williams was pretty pumped about when he got to watch that. One of the things about this pickup is that he is young for his grade. He is 6'6". He's over 300 pounds. Yes. He comes from the Northern California Bay Area, and he chose that over Cal in the hometown, USC a few hours away, Washington a few hours away. But he is young. I don't think he's even 17 years old yet, heading into his senior year at St. Ignatius College Prep. And we've seen Kyle Flood look for these guys, 6'6", 300-ish pounds. He's got room to grow. Kind of reminds you a little bit of Andre Kojo in that regard only. Yeah. But at the same time, there's so much here for Kyle Flood to be able to work with and make sure he can get his hands on to turn more likely into a tackle in the coming years, correct?
Man, you just nailed that. And Andre Kojo is who was I going to say? So, Joe, you and I are there. I was going to say Kojo coming in really, really young. Remember, Christian Jones came in really young. And that extra year, Kyle Flood loves the ability to mold these guys. He wants the clay, the large amount of clay so that he can mold these things like Play-Doh. And that's what John Mills can do. He brings that tenacity. And you said it too, that he's not just a guard. This is a guy that they can envision at offensive tackle. And you always want to have those bookend guys, going from either Kelvin Banks to Brandon Baker to potentially, a Michael Fasusi, where Texas is such a good position with right now. John Mills is kind of under the radar, but he can also play tackle. And I think that versatility Flood loves the guys that he can mix and match, that he can move around the line. With him being so young and having that moldable clay, this is a Kyle Flood special. Even if he's not a giant 4 or 5 star, it doesn't have to be for Flood. He can develop any guy at any level, and I think that's why they're so excited about John Mills.
Before we keep on going, got to give some love to the sponsor of this video, Gabe Winslow. Mortgages by Gabe. Gabe is in the Houston area, but he will help anybody all over the state of Texas get the right money they need to buy a new home. Justin, how many lenders?
Over 70. When those big companies, they'll only go to one. Our man Gabe is 70 deep. Go ahead, Gabe.
So if you need a condo, a house, a ranch, anything like that that you can find within the state of Texas, give Gabe a call. He will be the person that you go through in order to get the money you need. Call him at 832-557-1095 or head to his website, mortgagesbygabe.com. Justin, as we look at this offensive line class, the Coleman brothers are in, Jackson Christian is in, and now John Mills is in. We are here waiting on some other decisions. How big does this class get? And who are the top targets remaining now that Mills is in the boat?
I think it starts and ends with Michael Fasusi. I really do. I think that's the guy. That's the one that they want in this class. That's the one they've identified for the last 3 years that have been at the top of the big board. You know, they talked to Lamont Rogers, and they're still in that, but you don't necessarily know the direction of that one. Ty Haywood in Texas never really clicked. It never really seemed like they were on the same page. Fasusi in Texas have been getting closer and closer every day. Like that's where it starts and ends. And I think that's what Texas wants. I think Sark wants one of those bona fide 5-star tackles in every class. Granted, all college coaches do, but Sark can actually pull it off. And I think that's what you need in Fasusi. I mean, we've even heard stuff about potentially it being a 6-man offensive line class. And you never know. There could be some late guys. Hey, they made some inroads with Dick Brooks out of Iowa on his official visit. You don't know how that one's going to go. So there's always ones you got to kind of keep on the back burner. Fasusi's where it starts and ends. If they can land the big kid out of Louisville, 6'5", 295 pounds of 5-star greatness, that's another incredible haul. It reminds me when you got Banks the year before, when you got a Brandon Baker last year. A Fasusi would be perfect this year to go along with potentially a 2026 haul with 5-star tackle John Turntine out of North Crowley, who Texas is in the fantastic shape for right now. Sark has a vision. Get that bona fide left tackle. Get that 5-star ready-made coming into play left tackle. Fasusi has been that guy they've identified from the start. It would be a big loss if he's not in this class.
You know, Sark calls quarterback the most important position in sports. Well, you got to find the guys to protect the most important position in sports. Fasusi would be that for the blind side. John Mills, maybe down the road on the other side at tackle. But like the other guys in this class, a lot of versatility, 2 positions kind of for each guy. Nobody's real pigeonholed. Devin Coleman could end up probably on the interior, but he could end up at center as well as guard. Jordan Coleman could end up at tackle, maybe a guard more likely, but has the ability to play tackle. Jackson Christian, I kind of wonder if he could be all over the place, similar
maybe
to how Cole Hudson was.
Yeah,
John Mills, guard, but the ability to play tackle, obviously at 6'6", 300-ish pounds, and still really, really young for his age with some room to grow. And then who knows what happens in the rest of the 2025 class. Thank you for watching this video. For more insight, head to Inside Texas. You can use the promo code IT1. You can get 2 months of Inside Texas Plus access for just $1. If you're watching on YouTube, like this video, subscribe to the channel, help us get to 8,000. And if you're on podcast, thank you for listening. Make sure that you give us a 5-star rating, give us a review. We appreciate it so much. Justin, thank you so much. We'll see you next time on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com.